Back in 2020, Charlize Theron starred in Netflix's The Old Guard, and it was presumed to be a hit. It was probably a hit because people were stuck in their houses and had to watch Netflix all day. But now she is on the promotional tour for the sequel, The Old Guard 2, and in a recent interview with the New York Times, she talked about how there is a double standard in Hollywood for men and women who star in action movies. She says that female actors get just one shot to have an action movie hit, but when it comes to men, they can have a box office flop and still land multiple follow-up projects. She says it's harder, that's known. Action films with female leads don't get greenlit as much as the ones with male leads. I think the thing that's always frustrated me is the fact that guys will get a free ride. When women do this and the movie maybe doesn't hit fully, they don't necessarily get a chance again. With this, we were very aware that eyes were on us. It's not a risk that studios want to take, but they'll take it many times on the same guy who might have a string of action movies that did not do so well.
She doesn't give any examples.
No, and this reminded me of a similar comment that Olivia Wilde made when she was promoting Don't Worry, Darling. She was saying that it's harder for women to get a second chance at directing movies,
yes, yeah.
as fewer people will invest in the second film of a woman than a man. She said she felt lucky that her first film, Booksmart, was successful enough to give her a second opportunity in the industry. But the opposite is true. Booksmart wasn't a success. It wasn't a hit. It did flop.
She means
and
critical
she was
success.
Given a second chance after that.
I mean, we all know that failing upward is the case du jour in Hollywood nowadays.
And there was a reply actually to the headline that provided a bunch of examples saying, yeah, no chances ever taken, pointing out the Marvels, Madam Web.
I've got the list here. So
Atlas.
We've got Jolt, Kidnap, Red Sparrow, The Rhythm Section, Cleaner, The Marvels, Alita should have gotten a sequel. Atlas, Madam Web. I don't even see The Mother on here, which was the one I had.
In there.
Is it farther down? Yep, there it is. This is like the worst movie I've ever seen in my entire life. Ghost in the Shell, Scarlett Johansson. You know what? She got a second chance, and you know what? She just made like $312 million at the box office this weekend with a subpar.
She's now the highest grossing actor ever in Hollywood.
Anna, The Woman King, Wakanda Forever, Terminator, Dark Fate. Nobody wants to remember that one. I turned Heart of Stone off after like 8 minutes. Peppermint was good. More people should see it. 355. Tomb Raider. They neglect to point out that that's not a continuation, a reboot of a very successful Angelina Jolie franchise. What Happened to Monday, The Protege. We've got more. Mad Max Fury Road. That got a sequel, but they recast, and then nobody went and saw Furiosa.
Right.
We got Star Wars, Atomic Blonde, Black Widow, Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman got a sequel because it did well. Prey's getting more movies. Granted, it's not. I don't believe that lead actress is going to be in there. There's Furiosa, Rogue One, Old Guard, Ava, Captain Marvel, Birds of Prey. The list goes on and on. I don't see Ballerina in here.
True. So there's one example, right? Ana de Armas was in a total flop and then got another chance.
Yep.
You could just list them forever and it doesn't matter because they're going to harp on the same point no matter what.
Yes.
But you sent me a bunch of examples of both actors and actresses who never recovered after a flop in the box office.
Halle Berry's on this list for Catwoman. I mean, nobody was going to survive that one. I think Taylor Kitsch is the example that most people think of when they think of somebody who was expected to kind of be propositioned as like this, positioned as this next action star. Taylor Kitsch and also Jai Courtney. Remember, I told you guys 1,000 times, Hollywood really wanted to make Jai Courtney a thing. He is an example of that actually happening, where they kept giving him action movies.
Well, I thought that Taylor Kitsch was actually said to be put in pretty boy jail, where some actors are considered too handsome to get roles.
I don't know. I mean, he's older now. He's going to be in
CW pretty boy jail.
Also, Ana de Armas doesn't really count for this list because what I'm thinking of is she was in the last James Bond movie, and that actually did well, but she wasn't the star of that movie. But the point is like Hollywood takes chances on actresses all the time, but the idea is that lots of people don't get a second chance.
Well, it's also not considered taking a chance if you're making another installment of a franchise that they believe is a guaranteed success anyway.
Yeah.
Like Ballerina.
I like Elizabeth Berkley in Showgirls. That's a funny one to mention. Armie Hammer was, I mean, he's got other reasons why he's persona non grata in Hollywood. Alicia Silverstone in Batman and Robin, she was just miscast in that movie. All sorts of examples. The point is it doesn't really matter. Like, there's 10,000 things being made right now, and if we're talking about like stuff that's going straight to streaming, women are going to get plenty of those movies.
But if anything is true, it's that Hollywood is taking too many chances.
Yes.
And they should stop doing that.
Because I was saying it over everyone was shocked when Jurassic World. Now again, there's all sorts of misinformation or disinformation around Jurassic World. It opened 3 days, like the lowest in the franchise, 95 million. But over 5 days, it opened like 140 something, and it made $312 million overall. But I don't know if that's really Scarlett Johansson as much as like dinosaurs is just always going to sell.
Well, I mean, what was the last one we saw? Jurassic World Dominion?
Yeah, that made a lot of money. It made 145 million in just 3 days rather than 95 million in 3 days. But that had Chris Pratt in it. But dinosaurs in general are a pretty safe bet.
Pop Culture Junkie sent us a 20. Booksmart made $25 million off of a $6 million budget, so it wasn't a total dud. I think Wilde got her next gig because the reviews were mildly positive.
I mean, $25 million on a $6 million bid is fine, especially if it's the type of movie that they expect to do well in DVD sales.
Okay, well, let's take the example of Elizabeth Banks, who directed the Charlie's Angels reboot in 2019, which flopped. And then got another chance at, what was it, Cocaine Bear. Directly after that. And that was a good movie.
Yep.
So, maybe it's fine to take a chance on a director that had a flop. But in the example of actors and actresses, this is demonstrably untrue. It's just more so speaking on Charlize Theron's worldview, which is that women are downtrodden no matter what.
Yep.
And guys don't get a free ride anywhere except for her bedroom.
I mean, Gal Gadot will get infinite chances in Hollywood. She will forever. Doesn't matter if she was bad in Snow White. Doesn't matter if Heart of Stone was unwatchable. She's got charisma and she's got likability. She will continue to get work. It doesn't matter if Red Notice was the most AI written movie that's ever been made and it's in the entire world. She's still going to get opportunities. It's always going to happen.
Well, sometimes talent gets multiple opportunities because of just momentum. Zendaya is a perfect example of that. Like, I don't think of Zendaya as a box office draw. She just happens to be in tons of movies with ensemble casts
that do well. Yeah.
And they want to credit her for that. It doesn't have anything to do with her or her star power for certain, but it's just memetics at that point.
So,
she's just a fill in the blank. She's just an ad lib. We need an actress who's in this age range at a certain level of fame. Zendaya.
Look, they went on and they did 3 Star Wars movies with Daisy Ridley with diminishing returns through all of them as they made less and less money. Right? I believe they went down. I believe it peaked with The Force Awakens and then it got less so as it goes on. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong in there. But the point is that people had no high hopes for those movies after the second one, after what Rian Johnson did to the franchise. And a lot of people felt that the movie should have been centered around Finn rather than around her character. But they kept going because a lot of the studios have programs embedded into their studio structure to make sure that women are getting those opportunities.
And now Point Proven Ray movies in the works.
I mean, I don't know if we're ever actually going to see that. Alita should have gotten a sequel, though, and I really, really enjoyed it. Like, there were movies on this list that I liked, but the thing is most of the time, they're not so monumental that it's people remember them. Like, if you mention Peppermint right now, people aren't going to know what the hell you're talking about.
No.
Like, they're like, Jennifer Garner, you mean Elektra?
Well,
from the 2000s?
Did you ever watch The Old Guard?
No. I saw the 355 and I fell asleep.
They just said, like, it was a hit, but it came out in 2020 on streaming. Of course it was a hit.
A hit. Like, everybody knows that if there's any list in the world that's fake, it's the lists of, like, top 10 shows on our site right now.
Right.
Which Netflix will just make up.
Later in the interview, she's just, like, bragging about how she does her own stunts and she's gotten so many surgeries because she gets hurt all the time and has bone fractures, and she's more dedicated to the craft than all of these other actors. So she deserves it.
The only one she's right about is Jai Courtney. They really did want to make Jai Courtney a thing, but that was never going to happen.
She didn't even mention Jai Courtney.
No, I'm saying, but like that's an example to her argument.
Yeah, I suppose.
That is an example to her argument. I will give her that. So.
But do you know why that happened?
Oh, that's a good question. I mean, I don't know if it's like the thing
was
is
it
like,
a Pedro Pascal situation where it was just like we have a lack for this?
I mean, I guess like
type
I never
of
really thought of
character?
like when I think of him as like in the things that I liked him in, like when he was in Suicide Squad, he wasn't the lead. When he was in Jack Reacher, he wasn't the lead. It was Terminator where they expected him to be a lead, and I forget the other one. But the point is he was showing up in all of Die Hard, and all those movies were just not going to do well because it was a Terminator movie that wasn't 1, 2, or Terminator: The Sarah Connor Chronicles or Salvation, and it was a Die Hard movie that wasn't the first one or the second one. Mm-hmm. So they were in like aging franchises that were already on their way out. So it could have been a lot of reasons those movies flopped. It wasn't necessarily his fault, but he was attached to them.
I just chalk it up to sometimes a power vacuum.
Yeah.
Like sometimes the Hollywood just has a power vacuum for a male lead or a female lead and just spits it out algorithmically.
Thanks for watching. Listen to full episodes of Pop Culture Crisis on Spotify.
Keep up with us on social media and make sure you subscribe and ring that bell so you never miss the show. Bye, guys.